Sega and Cook and Becker, someone I have never heard of, are going to release a Sonic 25th Anniversary art book next year.
I have to say, after the history of Sonic the Hedgehog, this is a pretty good follow-up.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, let's be honest, the 20th Anniversary history book was pretty good,
Hmm.
which I have two of because Amazon fucking.
Yeah, you
Well,
got the
Amazon,
regular
yeah,
edition, and then
limited
and
two copies of the limited edition one.
oh, good.
So I don't know what to do with the second one. It's still sealed in its cellophane wrapping.
Yeah.
And I also have the 20th anniversary collector's edition Generations with an art book, but then again, it was like majority of it is just a bunch of images you can find on Google.
Yeah, it's just mostly like the regular stock images and stuff. And
Yeah,
but again, what's great about this is,
I would have actually like get two books. You have the history art book, and then you have the Generations art book.
hmm,
That would have been interesting, seeing the storyboards and all that.
yeah, that would have been nice. But like I said, the great thing with this is that, like I said, there's a lot. In fact, there's a little quote here. I'll just read it out here. We're very excited to be working with Sega on an official art book for one of the video game's most iconic characters. Sonic is such a great character with such a variety of designed worlds. Everyone that has seen everyone that has seen our fine art prints books knows that Cook and Beckers is always 100% committed to bringing on outstanding level of quality to everything we work on. And with Sonic the Hedgehog art book, we want to raise the bar to the coffee table. Coffee table art books in video games showcase everything that is great about Sonic.
Martin Brands, a CMB founder.
It's thank you, thank you for that quote.
Yeah, thank you. If this is going to be what I think it is, like we'll have like the original sketches of Sonic and what went into make in all the games. Because looking at the image, it looks very thick. It's like a thesaurus big.
It's a pretty big book, yeah.
I mean, the history was a bit thick, but this one looks like
It
it's
was.
got like it's got the protective cover on it as
It's
well.
basically one of the things you see when you go into the art section and like Waterstones or whatever. These are like the proper
Yeah.
full-on art
How
books.
to make still life
Yeah,
art.
those type of things.
Yeah, get an orange, put it on a table, add a candle, draw that.
Yeah.
That's what still life is. It pretty much.
Well, it goes a bit more complex than that, but
Yeah,
let's
but
not
that's
go
in
into that.
layman's terms because I did still life when I was in
Yeah, yeah,
in high school, and it's like, finish. You can't finish within an hour. We still got an hour left, but I've done everything I need to do. I sat there for an hour after painting a
yeah.
rose, and it's like, there's nothing else I can add to this.
All right, all right. Let's not go down the memory lane with that stuff.
I'm good at art. That's all I am.
Okay then. But yeah,
But,
getting back to the book.
yeah, and
Again, it's kind of interesting. It's interesting with this because there's a lot of because I've been on like various Tumblr pages and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't think amount of people have seen from Sonic's archives.
yeah, like was like a few months ago we got the um Sega Sonic Bros, which
Hmm,
is essentially three colored Sonics in like a Puyo Pop style game, which was cancelled.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
people have theorized that it eventually evolved into Sega Sonic the Hedgehog with Mighty and Ray.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a lot of games like we don't actually have a lot of images for. Like
Yeah.
we don't have many for Sonic R or Sonic the Fighters.
Hmm.
We don't. Sonic Extremes documents could have been really fucking great, but all we have is
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
a few tech demo videos.
Because like it says here is that this probably will be a variation of, official character illustrations, in-game art, pixel art, rare promotional stuff, box art, all that stuff, which, again, I would love to see, because again, we've seen the majority of these over the years on the internet, but I like to see the more like, well, what else have you got? Like, really go head deep into the archives of some of these old games.
Yeah, if it's gonna show a box art, can we have all the box arts variants? Because if you look at the original Sonic the Hedgehog, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
American one looks decent. Like there's Sonic, there's Green Hill, black, cool.
Yeah.
UK one, kind of a peach background with some
Beach background with a few animals and Eggman there, but
and a Japanese Sonic on the front.
yeah, yeah.
Then you have the Japanese cover, and fucking hell, they took the pop art to heart with that one. That
Yeah,
cover
exactly.
looks fantastic.
Yeah. Well, remember this because Sega of America basically said we need to redesign the front cover for this to sell, and back in Japan they were like, "This we don't like this, but if it's gonna sell, do it."
Yeah, we've got to have more of an attitude. And they do it to Kirby. Even today, they still do it with Kirby. Make him angry.
Angry Kirby.
Why? He's cute.
I think that's
He's never been angry other than in Smash Bros.
yeah. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing this because we haven't really had that many art books in terms of video games. I mean, there's been one or two stuff about the history of gaming, and you occasionally see some pieces of stuff you haven't seen before. But
yeah. I mean, I'm one of those sad fucks who like art books. Even the Alone in the Dark art book I had with the collector's edition of the 2008 game,
yeah,
it looked fucking great. Game fucking sucked ass, but hey, the artwork was great.
yeah. I mean, put it this way: when I did the Broken Sword Kickstarter, one of the rewards is going to be an art of Broken Sword. Then they managed to fit in. Again, this being a Kickstarter thing, it wasn't going to be a full-on massive book like this. Probably might be. Again, it might change size from before it's finished. But again, it put enough artwork of stuff like of environments we've seen or characters and stuff. And I like to think this will be like a full, extensive list of like all the various artworks from basic drawings, renders, in-game stuff, CGI stuff, storyboards, previous animations, all that stuff into one book. Because I think there's a lot you could do especially with it's on the Hedgehog. There's a lot you could fill that up with.
Yeah, I think.
Although with that said, I'm curious, would you prefer it if it was a book that had small descriptions but was filled with mostly with images, or was more of like a sort of history of, again, it has paragraphs and
As
stuff.
far as I'm concerned, I like to see like a 75-25 split to artwork.
Hmm.
In having descriptions and captions of what it was, where it came from.
Yeah.
Like looking at the early CG renders of the new Sonic Journey, Sonic Adventures
Yeah.
about to
Oh
come
yeah,
out,
particularly
because
like
that looked fucking ugly.
yeah. Well remember because there's actually a Tumblr out there called Pencil Hill, which actually did have the early designs of what the characters were going to be in Adventures. So this would be great to have like it now in a nice, fully printed off, finally all finished off in a booklet now to actually see it.
Yeah, even like the in-game artwork for like colors and Unleashed would be
Hmm.
great.
But here's a question: Do you think?
The ones in Generations are good, but we've already seen them before.
Hmm.
Uh, but like, there's a lot of like Unleashed and colors
Yeah, but
stuff that would
here's a
have been
good
like to
point.
see.
Sorry, here's a good point. Remember, do you think they'll put anything of Boom in this book?
Oh yeah.
Right, because apparently one thing they did say is we did have a lot of artwork for this game when we started, so I want to see all those variations of Sonic because, like I said, they were pretty out there.
All variants of Sonic, all the prototypes of Blaze, the prototypes of Shadow that came to light a couple of months ago,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the Terios ones.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Like I said,
the
this is a great opportunity to get the stuff that's either been in Japan's archives for ages to finally let them out for people to see because in this day and age, we want to see the progress of how game development works these days.
hmm,
And having an art book like this is the perfect opportunity to put that in. And like, I'm trying to actually think, it's like, has there ever been like a extensional art book as like full on, like a proper like, with either Mario or Zelda or anything else? There hasn't really been.
there's been like published art books based on certain games, but
Yeah,
nothing to a extent like say Doctor Who or even Star Wars. And
no, it's
even then,
never been.
there's a lot of Star Wars books that actually like not to say, oh, here's how we design this. It's more or
Hmm,
less here's how you actually build a lightsaber, and this is what you need in this world.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean those are more like
if they
sort of
do a book, if they
fiction books.
do something like Tales' journals or Styx's diary.
Yeah, that's more like in fiction books, like oh, here's a booklet from character blah blah and all that stuff. This is more
Actually, you
like
know what? Good idea. I would actually love to see Styx's diary in the same shape, like as a bunch of leaves.
Oh god, well think about it. There might be some promo stuff in there, like there's a bunch of ramblings on the leaf that she's just written down.
Oh,
So
that'll be good.
yeah, that'd be
That's a book I want to see.
yeah, exactly. I want to put that, and if the guys are listening, put that in. If you're still figuring out which to put in the book, pull a lot of Boom stuff near the end. I would say.
Yeah, famous quotes by Styx.
Yeah, exactly. Ramblings by Styx. That's what we want, as well as all the
Top of the list.
making up.
Moose.
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
it
get
should be good.
the pre-orders are going to be available November, I think.
Yeah, well, they'll probably be by November, and it says it will be out early of next year, so that could be February, March, for all we know.
Yeah, you could like the same way you could pre-order Sonic Made Collector's Edition, but it won't be out until May.
Yeah. Although, like I said, from the image of the book we have in the minute, the main image, that might change, and we might have two covers again. We might have two editions. So,
Oh yeah, speaking of Cook and Becker, they also produced a pixel art print,
yes, they
which
did. Yes.
which for $150 looks fucking great, but I'm not spending that much.
Yeah. Although Adam did. He's got it one.
Of
It's
course,
framed in his house.
of course he has.
Yes. Well, that's Adam for you.
Well, where's my balaclava?
Exactly. Anyway, anyway, book interesting. We'll be check out on it more.
Yeah, links in the description.
Yeah.